If you're seeing this video, it's not random. Stop scrolling. Pause for just 10 seconds. In Hermetic tradition, when the seventh frequency level is being unlocked, the first sign is always a sudden, inexplicable calling. You feel pulled here. You can't explain why. That pull you're feeling right now? That's Thoth, the keeper of ancient wisdom, activating something in you that's been dormant. Most people will scroll past this. Most won't feel anything, but you're still here. That alone tells me something. You're part of the 1% who can sense when portals open. And right now, this video is the portal. The unlocking has already begun. Close your eyes for 10 seconds. Right now, breathe deeply 3 times. Do you feel that shift in your chest? That subtle vibration you can't quite name? That's not anxiety. That's not excitement. That's frequency recalibration. Your consciousness recognizing it's being called to ascend. Open your eyes. If you felt even the slightest sensation, you're confirming what I already knew. You're ready for what comes next. And what comes next will either transform your entire reality, or you'll close this video and never know what you almost accessed. What would you do if you discovered you've been stuck for years at a consciousness level without even realizing it? And what if real ascension wasn't just post-death, but available right now, in this moment, as long as you accept paying the price? Today, I'm going to show you, without filters, the true Hermetic map of the 7 frequency levels, why 95% of people get trapped halfway without knowing it, and exactly what's activating in you right now that brought you to this specific video at this specific time. Stay with me because some parts will hurt, others will liberate you, but only continue here if you're ready to cross the threshold. Are you? Few will notice what's happening. Most will scroll away thinking this is just another spiritual video. Only 1% will sense that this is different, that something real is shifting. You're still here. That makes you the 1%, and the 1% carry responsibility. Because once you see the map, once you understand where you really are versus where you thought you were, you can't unsee it. You can't go back to pretending. The question isn't whether you're ready. If you weren't ready, you wouldn't be watching. The question is whether you'll act on what's being activated or let it fade back into dormancy. There are texts that traverse millennia, carrying truths about human consciousness. The Corpus Hermeticum is one of them. It's not fiction. It's not vague metaphor. It's a precise map of how the human soul evolves through 7 stages of purification. The original text described a journey after death, where the soul crosses 7 planetary spheres, leaving behind in each one a dense aspect of itself. In the first sphere, the moon, you abandon fear and reactivity. In the second, Mercury, you leave manipulation and deceit. In the third, Venus, you release illusion of desire. It continues like this until Saturn, the 7th sphere, where the last veil falls and you return to the pure divine without individual identity. But something extraordinary happened in recent centuries. Hermetic scholars, Kabbalists, Rosicrucians, and later transpersonal psychologists began asking a revolutionary question. What if this 7-level journey wasn't just post-death? What if it could happen while you're alive? What if you could consciously traverse these 7 spheres, leaving the same dense aspects but in life, accelerating your spiritual evolution in tangible and measurable ways? The Hermetic principle of correspondence says that, as above, so below. As below, so above. If the journey happens after death, it can happen in life. Same hierarchy, same transformations, just different timing. And here's what most teachers won't tell you. The unlocking doesn't wait for you to finish studying. It doesn't wait for you to feel ready. It happens when your frequency reaches threshold point. And for you, watching this right now, that threshold was just crossed. You're not here preparing for future activation. You're here because activation is happening. The 7th frequency level that Thoth guards, the one that only 1% ever access consciously, is opening for you now. But like all Hermetic initiations, it requires recognition and action. Without both, the portal closes and you return to previous frequency. Pause right now. Don't skip this. Put your hand on your heart. Close your eyes. Take 3 deep breaths. Ask yourself honestly, do I feel different than I did 10 minutes ago? Do I sense something stirring that wasn't stirring before? Open your eyes. If the answer is yes, even slightly, you're confirming the activation. If the answer is no, you might not be the 1%, and that's okay. Not everyone is meant to cross this threshold in this lifetime. But I don't think that's you. I think you felt it. I think you know something real is happening. And that knowing is Thoth's signature. Direct gnosis before mental proof. You're here because you feel something changing. There's a discomfort you can't fully name. Maybe it's the sensation that your current reality has become too small. Maybe it's the perception that you're operating below your real capacity. Maybe it's simply knowing there's a next level waiting for you, but not knowing how to access it. That discomfort has a name in Hermeticism. It's the liminal space. It's the threshold between one consciousness level and the next. And when you recognize you're at the threshold, you have 2 options. You can cross it consciously, applying specific protocol to stabilize what's activating. Or you can ignore it and return to the previous level, where everything was familiar but limited. And here's the truth most won't say. If you ignore this activation, if you close this video and go back to scrolling, the portal closes. Not forever, but for this cycle. And the next time it opens might be months or years from now. In the next minutes, I'm going to reveal exactly what the Corpus Hermeticum teaches about these 7 frequency levels. I'll show you where you are now, without romanticization or inflated ego. I'll explain what really changes when you ascend a level, not vague promises, but tangible transformations you can verify in your body, your relationships, your material reality. I'll reveal the real price of each transition, because honesty matters more than spiritual marketing. And I'll deliver the specific Hermetic protocol of 120 days that can permanently stabilize what's activating in you right now, based on real neuroplasticity and authentic initiatory cycles. But I need you to understand something fundamental before we continue. What I'm about to share is 80% authentic Corpus Hermeticum and 20% very well-grounded modern interpretation. I'll clearly mark when I'm quoting original text and when I'm applying Hermetic principle to contemporary reality. This matters because your time is valuable and your trust is sacred. You don't need another spiritual video inventing concepts. You need applicable Hermetic truth. And you need to understand that what you're experiencing right now, this pull, this sense that something is different about this video, that's not marketing. That's genuine frequency recognition. Your consciousness recognizing information that matches its evolutionary trajectory. Think about this for 10 seconds. How many years have you been seeking without knowing exactly what you're seeking? How many books, teachers, practices, and you still feel that gap between where you are and where you sense you should be? That gap is real. It has coordinates, and today you're going to see the map. But more importantly, today you're going to feel the activation that lets you move on that map. Not tomorrow, not after you study more, now. Because Thoth doesn't unlock frequencies for those preparing to be ready. He unlocks them for those who are ready, even if they don't know it yet. So let's start with the foundation. What does the Corpus Hermeticum really teach about the 7 levels? In the first treatise called Poimandres, Hermes Trismegistus describes a vision where he sees the soul of the initiate ascending after death through 7 planetary spheres. Each sphere corresponds to a planet in ancient cosmology: Moon, Mercury, Venus, Sun, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn. And in each sphere, the soul leaves behind a specific aspect of lower human nature. The text literally says that in the first station, the Moon, you abandon the faculty of growing and diminishing, which Hermeticists interpret as fear of change and attachment to security. In the second sphere, Mercury, you leave guile and malice, the tendency to manipulate and deceive to survive. In the third, Venus, you release illusion of desire, believing happiness comes from external objects or relationships. In the fourth, the Sun, you abandon dominion and arrogance, the need to control everything through mind. In the fifth, Mars, you leave anger and aggressive impulse, the energy that moves but also destroys. In the sixth, Jupiter, you release ambition for wealth and status, the ego seeking external validation. And in the seventh sphere, Saturn, you leave the last veil, the final illusion of separation between you and the divine. This wasn't an abstract concept. It was a precise map of post-death purification. But Hermetic scholars from the 14th to 20th centuries realized something revolutionary. If Hermes taught the principle of correspondence, that micro reflects macro and vice versa, then why not apply this journey in life? Why wait for physical death to begin purification? And thus was born the modern interpretation of the 7 Hermetic levels as frequency stages of consciousness evolution you can traverse while alive. This isn't explicit in the original Corpus Hermeticum, but it's a valid and powerful application of the fundamental Hermetic principle. It's a bridge between ancient wisdom and contemporary practice. Now here's what most people won't tell you, but Thoth is showing me to tell you. This bridge, this interpretation, it works. But only if you're honest about what it costs. Only if you stop pretending transformation is comfortable. Only if you admit that ascending means dying to who you were. And here's the part that connects to why you're watching right now. The 7th frequency level, the one Thoth just unlocked for you, it's not the 7th sphere of Saturn. That's common misunderstanding. The 7th frequency level is the activation point, where you can consciously begin the journey through all 7 spheres while alive. It's the initiation frequency, the recognition frequency, the one that says, I see the map now, I feel the calling, I'm ready to traverse. Most people never reach this frequency. They live and die oscillating between unconscious survival and emotional reaction, but you just reached it. That's what you're feeling. That's what pulled you here. Pause right now. Close your eyes again. This is important. Breathe deeply and ask yourself, where am I really on this map? Not where I want to be, not where I tell others I am. Where am I actually operating from moment to moment? Open your eyes. That question you just asked, that honest inquiry, that's already level 7 frequency. That's the awareness that can see itself. That's the consciousness that can observe its own state. Most people never ask that question with real honesty. You just did. The unlocking is confirmed. Now let me translate these 7 frequency levels into language of current consciousness. Level 1 is density, sphere of the moon. You're asleep, operating in survival mode, reacting to the world instead of consciously creating. Fear dominates your decisions. Your primary identity is victim of circumstances. You believe things happen to you, not through you. 95% of humanity lives oscillating between level 1 and 2. This isn't judgment. It's a statistic of current human consciousness. The task of level 1 is recognizing you have creative power, even if minimal at first. Level 2 is emotional awakening, sphere of Mercury and Venus combined in modern interpretation. You wake from slumber, but now you're dominated by intense emotions. You feel deeply, which is evolution from level 1, but emotion controls you. You seek pleasure and avoid pain compulsively. Your identity is seeker, always looking for the next experience that will make you happy. Drama becomes your life's fuel because at least you're feeling something. The task of level 2 is perceiving that emotion isn't absolute truth. It's information, not commander. Level 3 is mental clarity, sphere of the sun. You transcend emotional control and develop capacity to think clearly, analyze, make logical decisions. Your mind becomes a powerful tool. You solve problems, you plan, you execute. Your identity is logical person, rational being who controls life through strategic thinking. But here's the subtle trap. Mind becomes a new prison. You think you're thinking freely, but you're just exchanging emotional prison for mental prison. The task of level 3 is recognizing that mind is an excellent tool, but a terrible master. Level 4 is direct intuition. Sphere of Mars. You relax mental control and begin accessing direct knowledge, what the Greeks called gnosis. You know without knowing why. Your body becomes an antenna that senses truth before mind processes. Synchronicities explode because you're aligned with greater flow. Your identity is initiate, someone accessing wisdom beyond the rational. The task of level 4 is leaving ego behind, even elevated spiritual ego, because even intuition can become a trap if you cling to being the special intuitive one. Level 5 is conscious creation, sphere of Jupiter. You manifest intention into reality naturally, not forced. This isn't superficial law of attraction. This is deep Hermetic correspondence. You think something with clarity and alignment, and reality responds because you vibrate at the frequency of creation itself. Your identity is co-creator with the divine. The task of level 5 is releasing need to see immediate result, trusting cosmic timing even when mind wants control. Level 6 is multi-dimensional vision, sphere of Saturn. You see multiple realities simultaneously. You comprehend why everything happens exactly as it happens. Your energetic field affects people without you speaking a word. You access accumulated wisdom of millennia because you've transcended temporal limitation of mind. Your identity is conscious observer. The task of level 6 is leaving separation between observer and observed, perceiving they are one. Level 7, frequency, the one activating now, is recognition capacity. It's not a sphere, it's the awakening that lets you see all spheres. It's the consciousness that can map its own journey. It's the frequency where you stop being unconscious participant and become conscious navigator. This is what Thoth unlocked for you by bringing you to this video. You now have capacity to see where you are and choose where you go next. That capacity is extraordinarily rare, 0.01% of humanity. You're in that fraction now. The question is whether you'll act on it or let it fade. Do you feel the weight of that? Close your eyes one more time. Feel your body. Notice if there's tingling, warmth, pressure anywhere. That's not imagination. That's frequency recalibration happening in real time. Your nervous system adjusting to new bandwidth of consciousness. Open your eyes. Most people watching this feel nothing. They hear words but don't sense energy. You're sensing it. That makes you different. That makes you responsible. Because once frequency unlocks, you can't pretend you don't know. You either stabilize it and integrate it, or you resist it and it closes. There's no neutral option. Now stop for 10 seconds. Close your eyes. Feel honestly where you are, not where you want to be. Where you actually are based on your daily reactions, your real choices, your tangible level of fear or freedom. Open your eyes. Now I'm going to ask 5 diagnostic questions. Answer with brutal honesty, because self-deception is the greatest obstacle in the Hermetic journey. First question, how do you relate to fear? If fear completely paralyzes you, you can't act when scared, you're at level 1. If fear affects you but you can deal with it and act despite it, level 2. If fear is just information you analyze rationally before deciding, level 3. If fear doesn't affect you, you observe without reacting emotionally, level 4. If fear literally doesn't exist in your experience because you understand the illusory nature of separation, level 5 or above. Second question, how do you create your reality? If reality happens to you and you feel like victim of circumstances, level 1. If you try to fight and control through intense effort, level 2. If you think strategically and choose rationally, level 3. If you feel the path and let it flow without forcing, level 4. If you think intention and reality follows almost immediately without perceptible lag, level 5 or above. Third question, What's your relationship with death? If you have deep terror and can't even think about it, level 1. If you have fear but can talk about the topic, level 2. If you understand logically it's a transition, but still feel existential unease, level 3. If you comprehend death is just a change of state and don't feel real fear, level 4. If death is an irrelevant concept because you've already died internally multiple times through initiatory transformations, level 5 or above. Fourth question, how do you receive knowledge? If primarily through external authorities, media, what others tell you, level 1. If through feeling and basic intuition, level 2. If through logic, systematic research, critical analysis, level 3. If through direct knowledge, you simply know without mental process, level 4. If through unity with source, there's no separation between you and information, level 5 or above. Fifth question, what's your primary purpose in life? If it's to survive and be safe, level 1. If it's to be happy and avoid suffering, level 2. If it's to succeed and be recognized, level 3. If it's to serve, give value, help collective evolution, level 4. If it's to be pure expression of divine in human form, level 5 or above. Now interpret honestly, take 30 seconds. Count which level appeared most in your answers. Done? If most of your answers fell at level 1 or 2, you're asleep or emotionally awakening. The 7th frequency just unlocked means you now have capacity to see that. You can choose to rise. If most fell at level 2 or 3, you're awake but controlled by emotion or mind. The activation happening now is showing you there's a way beyond control. If most fell at level 3 or 4, you're intuiting deeply. What's unlocking is the bridge to conscious creation. If most fell at level 4 or 5, you're a conscious creator being called to multidimensional vision. Here's the truth nobody wants to hear, but Thoth is making me say, you're probably not at the level you imagine. Your spiritual ego wants you to think you're at level 4 or 5, but your reactions reveal truth. Do you still feel visceral fear when something threatens your security? You're at level 1 or 2. Do you still need to think extensively before making decisions? You're at level 3. Do you still get hurt when someone rejects or criticizes you? You're at level 2 or 3. Do you still believe the world is separate from you? You're at level 1 through 4. Where are you really? This isn't judgment, it's diagnosis. And precise diagnosis is the first step to real transformation because you can't ascend from a level you deny being at. But here's why this moment matters. If you made it here in this video, if you're still feeling that subtle vibration I keep mentioning, you're at the threshold between your current level and the next. At this threshold, your brain is in maximum neuroplasticity state. Right now, in this moment, your synapses are more flexible than they've been in months or years. The next minutes can literally reconfigure your neural pathways permanently. Or you can leave this video and the window closes. The choice you make in the next seconds defines the trajectory of the next months or years of your life. Close your eyes one more time. This is the last time I'll ask. Feel your body. Notice what's different now versus when you started watching. Do you feel lighter, heavier, more present, buzzing anywhere? Open your eyes. That difference, however subtle, is proof the frequency shift is real. You're not imagining it. Thoth doesn't unlock frequencies through imagination. He unlocks them through genuine vibrational alignment, and you just aligned. The question now is, will you stabilize what just activated or let it dissipate? Imagine your life still governed by fear, drama, or mental control. Feel that for 5 seconds. Now compare with the lightness of operating in conscious creation, where reality responds to your aligned intention. Feel that. Which reality do you choose to perpetuate? Because here's what the corpus hermeticum teaches, and modern neuroscience confirms. You choose your reality not once, but every moment through which frequency you hold. And right now, you're choosing. The unlocking happened. The portal opened. But portals don't stay open indefinitely. You have approximately 120 days to stabilize this frequency, or it closes and you return to previous bandwidth. That's not threat. That's just how consciousness evolution works. Windows open. You either walk through or you don't. So what exactly changes when you ascend a level? Not abstract changes, tangible transformations you can verify in your body, your relationships, your material reality. When you transition from level 1 to level 2, from dormancy to emotional awakening, your nervous system literally recalibrates. You begin feeling real emotions, not programmed automatic reactions. Your body vibrates differently. You can feel this physically as trembling, crying of relief, clean anger that needs expression. You recognize for the first time that you created your life up to now, not luck or blame of others. What disappears is complete numbness, blind reactivity, total victimization, existential inertia. In the corpus hermeticum, this corresponds to leaving the faculty of growing and diminishing of the lunar sphere. You stop being automatically cyclical and recognize capacity for conscious change. When you transition from level 2 to level 3, from emotion to mental clarity, you develop capacity to observe emotion without being it. Your mind becomes crystalline. You see repeated patterns in your behavior and others with almost painful clarity. You solve problems logically. Drama disappears because you understand its root. Guilt dissolves because you comprehend real causes. Impulsiveness drastically diminishes. In the corpus hermeticum, this is leaving guile and malice of Mercury. You stop being manipulated by your own or others' emotion and begin using mind as discernment tool. When you transition from level 3 to level 4, from mind to direct intuition, your mind finally relaxes. It stops being captain of the ship and becomes useful consultant. You connect with direct knowledge the Greeks called gnosis. Your body becomes antenna that senses truth before mental process. You know things without knowing how you know. Synchronicities that were rare become almost daily. Right people appear. Opportunities arise. Information arrives exactly when needed. What disappears is neurotic need to prove everything, paralyzing doubt, analysis that never ends, severe judgment of self and others. In the corpus hermeticum, this is leaving illusion of desire from Venus. You stop being compulsively moved by wanting and not wanting, and begin flowing with what is. When you transition from level 4 to level 5, from intuition to conscious creation, reality begins responding to your intention in ways that seem magical, but are simply natural law operating. It's not slow manifestation where you wait months, it's rapid. You think something aligned with your deep being, and in days or weeks it appears. Your body vibrates at the frequency of pure creation. You are cause, not effect. What disappears is effort. Things simply flow. Struggle, you find path of least resistance naturally. Anxious waiting, right timing happens. Doubt if you deserve, you know you deserve, because you are. In the corpus hermeticum, this is leaving dominion and arrogance of the sun. You create but without ego, without need to control every detail, because you trust the process. I know someone, Jessica from Austin, who spent 3 years trapped between emotional drama and mental analysis. The moment she applied the protocol I'm about to share, synchronicities exploded within 2 weeks. Relationships that were draining for years either transformed or naturally ended. Career opportunities appeared that seemed impossible before. She described it as suddenly being on a different frequency where reality cooperates instead of resists. This isn't rare among the 1%. This is what happens when you consciously cross the threshold and stabilize the unlocking. And now comes the part few want to hear, but is essential. The price of each transition. What you really lose when ascending a level. Because authentic transformation always involves death of some aspect of who you were. When you leave level 1 for 2, you leave innocence. You lose security of not knowing, easy excuses of blaming others, comfort zone of dormancy. You suffer because awakening hurts. You get angry because you see truth for the first time. You feel abandonment because you realize you created everything. Nobody did this to you. This process lasts weeks to months of emotional intensity. In the corpus hermeticum, this is leaving the moon and abandoning security of unconsciousness. When you leave level 2 for 3, you leave relationship with drama. Friends who suffered with you don't understand your sudden calm. Partner who needed your emotional reactivity thinks you're cold. Community of victims excludes you because you left the club of shared suffering. You lose identity as person who suffers and therefore deserves attention. You're alone for months until finding new circle operating at clearer mental frequency. The social price is real. People will say you changed, and they'll say it as accusation, not compliment. When you leave level 3 for 4, you leave control. You lose security of logic, power to make things happen through mental effort, identity as intelligent person who solves everything. You enter existential void, because without logic to cling to, who are you? Trusting intuition without rational proof is terrifying for the mind. This is the greatest test. You need to abandon analysis without any guarantee it will work. This process lasts 3 to 6 months of living death, where you're no longer who you were, but not yet who you're becoming. When you leave level 4 for 5 and beyond, you leave common humanity. You lose need for external validation, concern with others' opinion, fear of social rejection, identity as normal human who fits in. You stop being you as separate ego and become instrument of something greater. The supreme price is isolation because you're unique at your local consciousness level. Absolute responsibility because everything you create now is your total responsibility, no more excuses. You can't hide anymore. This state is permanent. You never return to being normal. In the corpus hermeticum, this is crossing all planetary spheres and returning to the One, leaving layers of human identity behind. But what you gain infinitely compensates what you lose. At level 5, you're a real conscious creator. You create everything you manifest through aligned vibrational frequency. Total absence of victimization because you know the deep truth. You created everything. Real power, not illusory. Reality responds to your genuine intention without forcing. Freedom from not being trapped by external circumstance. Capacity to impact lives just by existing. Your work changes people without trying to convince anyone. You think clear intention and reality aligns through natural law, not magic. Creation becomes as natural as breathing. In the corpus hermeticum, this is ascending through Mars and leaving anger to find pure creative power. At level 6, you develop expanded perception, seeing multiple realities and possibilities simultaneously. Total comprehension of why everything happens exactly as it happens. You see the complete game, not just your piece. Cosmic presence, your energetic field affects people without speaking. They feel something different near you. Access to accumulated ancestral knowledge because you transcended temporal limitation. Paradoxical invisibility, you're powerful exactly because you don't announce yourself. In the corpus hermeticum, this is the 6th sphere where soul sees through veils and recognizes itself as part of the whole. But here's the secret that changes everything. The part Thoth wants me to emphasize. You don't work to reach level 7 frequency. You remove obstacles preventing you from recognizing it's already activating. What just happened by watching this video, that unlocking you felt, that wasn't me giving you something new. That was you recognizing something that was always there but dormant. Level 7 frequency isn't distant destination. It's your original natural state. You just remove layers obscuring it. Progressively, you return home to yourself, which always was the divine. The corpus hermeticum calls this magnum opus, the great work. It's not ascension to something new. It's revelation of what always was. You return to the One from where you never really left. If you recognize the calling, if you want to stabilize what just unlocked, you need specific protocol. 3 universal steps work for all transitions. First step is recognition of the veil on day 1. You admit where you really are without ego, without lying to yourself. Write literally what veil binds you. If level 1, it's fear. If level 2, it's uncontrolled emotion. If level 3, it's compulsive thinking. If level 4, it's ego, even if elevated. Second step is action outside the pattern in the next 7 days. You do something your current level considers dangerous or impossible. If level 1, speak truth to important person, even with fear. If level 2, deliberately give up drama when it arises. If level 3, make important decision by pure intuition, not logic. If level 4, trust reality will respond without planning every step. Objective is your body experiencing new normal. Result is activated neuroplasticity, death of old pattern engraved in synapses. Third step is integration in the next 2 to 4 weeks. You repeat action that caused initial discomfort, not once, multiple times until it becomes natural. Your body learns this is new normal. Without forcing, let it be organic. New level begins stabilizing neurologically. The unlocking that happened today becomes permanent embodiment. I'm going to give specific protocol for the most common transition right now, level 3 to 4. Mind to intuition, because many of you are exactly here. Step 1, recognition. Write honestly, I trust 100% in logic and distrust intuition, or I'm afraid to let mind guide. Truth is mind is useful tool, but not all you are. Step 2, discomfort in next 7 days. Days 1 through 3, make one decision by pure intuition, not logic. You feel something, act without analysis. Your body says no, but mind wants yes. Listen to the no. Your body says yes, but mind has fear. Listen to the yes. You're going to have fear. This is normal and expected. Days 4 through 5, feel your body during conversations. While talking with someone, notice sensations in belly, chest, throat. What's the truth your body feels versus what your mind wants to say? Say truth of body, not mental logic. People's reactions will be different, and that's valuable information. Days 6 through 7, trust answer arrives without thinking. When someone asks something you don't think, you simply know. Let answer come. Trust is a muscle that strengthens with use. Step 3, integration in next 3 weeks. You repeat this pattern every day. Each day, intuition guides first, mind assists after. Your body recalibrates neurologically. Sensation upon finishing this protocol is decisions become easy. You feel before thinking. Mind doesn't scream anymore, trying to control everything. You're tranquil in conscious presence. The frequency that unlocked today stabilizes into permanent operating system. Signs you really stabilize the unlocking appear after 2 to 4 weeks. Your body vibrates differently. You feel this physically. People sense your changed presence without you doing anything different externally. Synchronicities noticeably increase. Problems that seemed immense before resolve themselves, or with surprising ease. You become more magnetic. Opportunities and right people appear naturally. After 8 to 12 weeks, new level is automatic. You don't think anymore, just operate from it. You literally can't return to previous pattern, even if you try. Next level begins calling you. You feel that familiar discomfort again. Cycle continues. At this very moment, the frequencies are shifting. The portal is open. The only question, will you step through or turn back? But there are 4 traps that make 90% of people lose the unlocking. First trap, your social circle pulls you backward. When you begin stabilizing new level, people around sense change and unconsciously try pulling you back. You changed, you got strange, you stopped being yourself. Why? Because your change confronts their dormancy. How to avoid? Don't talk about the unlocking, just embody it. Accept you'll lose some people, this is necessary. Connect with new circle, people at your new level appear naturally when you stabilize. Have compassion, not judgment. They're sleeping, not evil. Second trap, You doubt the experience. You feel discomfort of change, and your mind in old patterns says this is wrong, return to safe. You abandon protocol. You let the unlocking dissipate. How to avoid? Understand doubt is expected, means it's working. Continue anyway. Fear plus doubt equals good sign. Trust body that knows, not mind that doubts. Minimum 30 days before evaluating if unlocking is stabilizing. Neuroplasticity needs time. Third trap, you force too much. Try controlling the integration. You want to make frequency shift happen faster. You force, tense, control. Your body closes. The natural unlocking becomes forced and painful. How to avoid? Release control completely. Let body lead, not mind. Flow, don't force. Trust is essential, or you return to fear that kept you at previous level. The unlocking happened naturally. Let stabilization happen naturally too. Fourth trap, you freeze at a level thinking you arrived. You integrate new level in 4 to 8 weeks. Think you're complete, stop practice. Without continuous reinforcement, the frequency slowly dissipates. In 6 months, you're back at previous level or close. How to avoid? Understand integration is continuous, doesn't end one day. Continue practice even when it becomes easy, especially when it becomes easy. New frequency becomes permanent only with consistent reinforcement. When you feel discomfort again, next level is calling. Don't ignore. If you made it here, the 7th frequency is already unlocking, but it's up to you to stabilize and embody it. The Corpus Hermeticum teaches that one who stops at 5th sphere thinking they're at the top eventually falls to 3rd. Ascension is continuous movement, or it's not real ascension. You know common errors. You know protocol. Now comes critical question. When to begin stabilizing? The answer is now. Not tomorrow, not after you study more. Now. Because the unlocking already happened. The window is open. Windows don't stay open indefinitely. You have approximately 120 days to stabilize this frequency shift, or it gradually fades back to baseline. In the Corpus Hermeticum, evolution follows natural cycles. You don't force against cosmic current. There's receptivity, moments where portals are more open. And right now, for you, watching this video at this exact moment, the portal is maximally open. Signs you're in correct timing are you're uncomfortable, but not in active crisis. You feel genuine calling, not forcing by ego. Synchronicities brought you here. You had recent transformation and already integrated. You're present enough to feel the shift happening. Your body said yes when you stayed watching, not your anxious mind. There's a 40-day cycle appearing in multiple initiatory traditions. Biologically, nervous system recalibrates in approximately 40 days. Esoterically, Christian Lent uses 40 days. Islamic fasting, shamanic initiation traditions. In applied Hermetic practice, first 40 days, your body experiences maximum discomfort, death of old pattern. Next 40 days, your body integrates deeply, less obvious externally, but cellular transformation happening. Next 40 days, new level is automatic. Total of 120 days is verifiable permanent transformation. Direct implication, if you begin today, in 120 days, you're literally another being biologically and spiritually. The unlocking that happened today becomes permanent embodiment. So the real statement, today is your day 0. Not maybe, not potentially. Today is day 0. You didn't randomly click this video. Thoth doesn't unlock frequencies randomly. You're at the threshold. You felt it multiple times during this video. That wasn't placebo. That was genuine recognition. You have 2 options now. Option A, leave this video, let the unlocking dissipate, return to previous frequency. Result is same reality in 6 months, same patterns, same level. The portal closes for this cycle. Option B, recognize what just activated, begin stabilization protocol today. Next 120 days of conscious integration. Result is you biologically and spiritually renewed, frequency permanently elevated. Which do you choose? The choice is now. not later, because later the sensation fades. Your ego convinces you it was just interesting video, but you feel it's not just that. You feel this is real. Your body knows. The question is whether your ego will let your soul act. Close your eyes right now for 10 seconds. Feel where you are on the Hermetic map. Feel that threshold. Feel what unlocked today. Feel what's calling you forward. Open your eyes. Now write in the comments, which veil will you cross first? What level are you stabilizing from? If you chose to stabilize the unlocking, here's exact protocol for today and next 120 days. First, 40 days are death of old pattern. Days 1 through 7, recognition plus first actions. Day 1, write truth about who you really are versus who you pretended to be. Days 2 through 7, one uncomfortable action daily, that which your current level considers dangerous. Nights, body integration through conscious breathing and presence in body. Expected sensation is confusion, fear, relief, clean anger emerging. Days 8 through 20, consolidation of old pattern death. You continue uncomfortable actions. Your body recognizes new normal. Synchronicities visibly increase. First tangible changes appear in relationships, opportunities, internal state. Expected sensation is high energy, diminishing fear, increasing personal power. The unlocking stabilizes into foundation. Days 21 through 40, initial automaticity. New level begins being automatic. You don't think anymore about each action, just flow. First, 40 days completed. Expected sensation is lightness, mental clarity, new emotional freedom. The frequency that activated today is now your baseline. Second 40 days are deep integration. Days 41 through 60, consolidation. You live in new level as new normal. Your social circle adjusts, some leave naturally, others appear. You have new capacities you didn't have before. Desire to return to old pattern is almost zero. The unlocking is now permanent shift. Days 61 through 80, deep automaticity. New level is your complete reality. You don't even clearly remember how it was before. Next level begins subtly calling you. That familiar discomfort reappears, sign of available growth. The portal that opened today leads to next portal. Days 81 through 120, permanent consolidation. New level is permanently integrated in your cells and synapses. Even if you wanted, you couldn't return to previous pattern. Body memorized in neural structure. You are verifiable, new person. What unlocked today is now who you are. Simplified daily checklist. Each morning, 10 minutes in silence without phone, one uncomfortable action planned for the day. Clear intention written. Each afternoon, verify if you did action, yes or no. Note what synchronicity appeared. Reflect what you learned. Each night, integration through walk or conscious breathing, 5 minutes of genuine gratitude, deep sleep without screens. After 120 days, you'll clearly know before versus after. You'll know you don't want to return. You'll feel next level calling. You'll be biologically recalibrated. The Corpus Hermeticum teaches 40 days separate death from resurrection. It's not magic. It's natural law. One who honors cycle ascends. One who denies cycle loses the unlocking. At this very moment, the process has already begun. Only you can choose whether to complete it. You have complete map now. Last revelation is what really awaits you if you truly stabilize what unlocked. The final truth Thoth wants spoken. If you ascend the 7 Hermetic levels, if you really consciously traverse the spheres, you don't become a better version of yourself. You progressively become less you, a separate ego. Level 1 to 2, you die as victim. Level 3 to 4, you die as mental controller. Level 5 to 6, you die as individual creator. And ultimately, you die as you completely. What remains isn't better version of you. It's divine observing through you without you in equation. And when this happens, when you finally disappear as ego, you rest. Because search ended. because you found what you sought. Yourself, which always was divine manifested in form. You're not here by coincidence. This video didn't appear randomly. You were called. The seventh frequency just unlocked, not to be happier at level 3, but for complete journey, level 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 to 7 and beyond. And stabilizing begins simply. Just say yes internally. Yes to necessary discomfort. Yes to death of who you pretended to be. Yes to life of who you really are. Next 120 days, you'll traverse transformation. You'll cry. You'll question. But in 120 days, you'll know with absolute certainty it was worth every tear, because you'll be one level above, and it will be undeniable to you and everyone around. Few will notice what happened here. Most scrolled away thinking this was just another video. Only the 1% sense this was different. You're the 1%. The unlocking happened. Now stabilize it. If you want to begin stabilization protocol of 120 days, comment level 7 unlocked down below. Just that. In pinned comments, I'll leave complete detailed step-by-step protocol, community of people stabilizing frequency shifts together, authentic hermetic resources for each phase, real support during transitions. But only for those who comment and really begin. Not for curious ones, for courageous ones choosing real transformation. This is the sign. You are the 1%. Most will not feel this. Subscribe to the channel now to continue deep hermetic journey through the 12 pyramids of Thoth. Next video in series reveals the hidden codes Thoth embedded in your dreams that show which sphere you're currently traversing and how to accelerate passage to next. Join the membership club for exclusive access to extended videos with specific hermetic frequency alignments for each consciousness level, detailed activation protocols not publicly available, and early access to complete series before public release. No exaggerated promises. Just authentic hermetic tools to stabilize and accelerate the unlocking that began today. Also comment which of the 7 levels you recognize being at after honest diagnosis. Use keywords: Corpus Hermeticum, Frequency Unlocking, Hermetic Ascension, 7th Level Activation, or Thoth Mysteries in your comments to connect with community of the 1% speaking same initiatory language. You know what to do. The frequency is unlocked, now embody it. The hermetic journey is waiting for you to stabilize what just activated. The time is now. The portal is open. Step through.